And then, you're having all those PTSDs of getting your passport in Kenya. You have to have to grease.
It's a lot of work.
You have to know a guy, and then you have to dial a friend.
Yeah.
Maze, I mean, it was just smooth.
It's not. It's not the same.
Okay, so getting started, in January when we came back from Samabani season, we had the first episode on the 27th of January. People were fresh, from Kenya. Some had just landed, the day before. Some had landed on the same day, and they were coming to studio. So there was, of course, the normal Samabani banter. There was issues about cost of living already, in January. And then we were talking about what we expect for 2024. We'll see if that was able to achieve. One thing that we were not able to achieve, or maybe I did not do, a good job on, was we were supposed to have more episodes on money management. We're going to try to work on that in 2024. And then, of course, people were preparing for LA7s. You'll remember that Kenya was still in the main series. LA7s. So, of course, rugby, there was a lot of rugby talk. And then on the second episode, on the 3rd of February, we hosted Brittany Caldwell. She was transitioning. Of course, she was living in Kenya, and she was transitioning to Nigeria. We had her,
By that time, she was not.
She was transitioning. She had already been in Nigeria.
Yeah, but she was not transitioning.
She wasn't transitioning yet. She was still deciding.
She was going to visit.
Yeah, she was still
and
deciding.
And then that chap removed.
Yeah, she revealed her love life.
That guy.
And that messed all
that guy came with,
Yeah.
I don't know if he swept her with a sweep. I don't know.
Should we be careful using words like transitioning?
Well,
never mind. Sorry.
Okay, that's another day. But Brittany also addressed, her remarks about her using the word black ass Kenyan, because, the black ass, is a word that's maybe common amongst people over here. But when you mention it in an African country, it has another tinge. So she also did an explanation. We also hosted the following week, the 10th of February, Anne Moy, Diaspora Real Estate. She was talking about how Kenyans get scammed. I mean, of course, she sells real estate in Kenya to diasporans. She talked about scam deals coming from the church, coming from a trusted source, the church doesn't know. They host someone and people buy in. And
even
she was
celebs.
talking about that. Celebrities too, and then, securing land and then, securing a title deed, and then you come and find it's grabbed. So Mike is going to be talking about that shortly. We also hosted Big TED on the 17th, the same month of February, the 17th. LA7s was coming up. They were offering consular services in LA7s. Then there was the issue of the dress code of Senator Karen Nyamu. We talked about that, and the senator who went to Senate with blood stains. I think Gloria, I think her name was Gloria Oroba.
Yes.
So that's also another conversation that we had. And then we took a break on March the 2nd for LA7s. But I'm going to get started with Omosh Fire. And we'll get started with these first episodes between Jan and February. Now, which ones did you like the most? So, of course, there was the intro episode. There was Brittany, there was Anne Moy, and there was Big TED.
Brittany spoke to me,
okay,
as well as Big TED.
Okay.
Big TED's was that one of, we haven't had a refreshing, how do I put it? Somebody who is in Gava, who comes across very genuine, refreshing, I guess young, for lack of a better word, and then also hearing us, feeling our pain. And subsequently, since then, between then and now, we have seen some of the things that he said he was going to do or that they were putting in place have actually been enacted.
Okay.
For instance, like even just the ID thing, and they did a whole tour, I think it was summertime, where they pretty much, I think, was it 16 cities?
They went to different parts of the U.S.
It was about 16, including Canada and Mexico.
I don't know whether Canada, they did it. There was plans to do it in Canada. I don't know whether it happened in Canada.
I think they went.
Okay.
But again, we would have to go back to
someone
check.
Please confirm.
Because there was but they had about 16 cities. They really, I mean, we know people who are actually involved in it, and I think that bringing the embassy to the people thing is something they should continue pushing for, budgeting for.
And it should be regular.
Yes. So basically, you just know between this period and this period, at least they'll come.
Okay.
So come out worst case scenario, you got to get your documents together or whatever it is that you need to do. Watu wakwenda home, samabanis, warudi na documents zako or something. Then at least you have originals, because a lot of the stuff that we are doing immigration related, you need to have originals.
Okay.
They do need to have originals.
Okay. And let me get to our guest in the studio, Dr. James Omanwa. Did you feel the effect of Big Ted's presence and the new initiatives that were coming through from when he came to the show and what happened through the rest of the year?
Me, speaking from somebody who actually went through dramas, because I think I lost my passport, couldn't get my ID from Kenya. And those things you say lucky, by just God's grace, my mom had given me my birth certificate.
Oh, wow.
And totally,
you mean that documents. After she removed it from where she was hiding under the bed, she gave you to come back with it?
Sasa skia.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
So,
yani banta
just
hata kwa show.
I'm sorry, but see, we just know. You guys, where do they keep those documents of ours? School living certificate, sijui birth certificate, and they have everybody's. Well, at least other than those of us who came here. Ask your siblings who are home. They probably don't even have their birth certificates. Mom still has them.
Me, it was a shocker. So I'm going through okay, I have a birth certificate.
Correct.
And now the issue was, how do I get my passport? And then, you're having all those PTSDs of getting your passport in Kenya. You have to, you have to grease.
It's a lot of work.
You have to know a guy, and then you have to dial a friend.
Yeah, Maze, I mean, it was just smooth. It was smooth. It was almost mind-blowing, know. So,
and you're talking about the experience here?
Yes.
At the embassy?
At the embassy.
Meaning you went to the DC embassy?
I went to the DC embassy.
Okay.
So, I mean, just seeing how it has changed, the consular services have changed, it's I would say almost a breath of fresh air.
So the people's noise has actually worked.
Yes,
like there's some
in a way,
in services.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
And I think there's a high expectation in the States.
Okay.
Or let me not say in the States, but us. Let me be general. We are so used to things working.
Yeah.
So we almost expect it.
Yeah.
From the the Kenyan embassy in the States.
Yeah.
Correct.
You expect that American standard in the Kenyan embassy.
So
in the States.
any lower standard, people will make noise.
Okay.
And
all right, good. And a couple of comments, that I can see already coming here. Esther says, going back to Brittany Caldwell, on Blackers, it's a real physical feature of the derriere of our people. It's just like our elbows, knees, knuckles, and eyelashes. People don't know their bodies. It's a biological, physical reality, unlike the other folks whose bodies are uniformly one color. Just saying. Then I can see here Slay saying, I was also given all my documents. Then I want to come back to Uno Mike right now. And Uno Mike, I think you were very intrigued by the Brittany Caldwell episode. This was the second time we were hosting her. So tell us a bit about what you liked about Brittany Caldwell's episode.
So here's the thing, for the longest time we've always had of, when you think of people visiting the continent, let's say for example Kenya, you rarely hear of African American. You in the circles in which we probably hang out or whatever, or people or brothers that we meet or sisters that we meet, like I would like to go to Kenya, I would love to go to the continent, I would love to go to Africa. But most of the people you interact with, even let's say for example YouTube people,
meaning white people, YT people.
Yeah. You hear somebody says, I was there, I visited Kenya in 1980, I was there for camp, missionary, something.
Yeah.
But now you have an African American visiting the continent, visiting Kenya, staying in Kenya, loving staying in Kenya, talking about working in Kenya, right? And then being forthright and forthcoming as to the experiences, talking to us about the challenges that she experienced being there, you know, and then, you know, really bringing out certain angles. I don't, maybe she left a job. She left, you know, like talking about the experiences and how there's treatment. And, you know, now she seeing that from her level.
Yeah.
Right. And how, let's say, for example, the workers, you know, the hustlers are being treated. So you're seeing that
She was an expatriate.
Yeah, an
and she
expatriate.
was seeing the treatment of the locals.
Yes,
the
the locals.
The ones who are local hires.
Yes, and now this is coming from somebody who is black, and then, but
Yeah.
it's also refreshing that, you know, it's somebody who's black, who's gone there, who has experienced,
Yeah.
and now is talking about making a home there,
Yeah.
right? So that for me was encouraging. It was like, okay, and because most people talk about the West, you know,
Yes.
Right.
going to Ghana, Nigeria,
Yeah.
ancestry, sijui what, but nobody sort of gives Kenya
East
a shot, or
Africa,
East
yeah.
Africa a shot. But it's coming out that there are people who really want to move to Kenya.
Yes, and
Afro
it's actually
Jamaican.
becoming a
Right.
thing.
It's becoming a thing.
well,
Afro Jamaican.
There's now Kia Wakesho,
Kia
Kia
Wakesho.
Simmons,
Yeah.
who's also an African American. So it's becoming a thing. You wanted to
I
add
have
something?
seen, I think, in those annals of YouTube, I've seen some African Americans who are actually planning on moving to Tanzania. You know,
Yes.
who, I think, was it Zambia? Zambia has like a huge population of Jamaicans. I
Okay,
think
I'm
Zambia
hearing
or,
about that
or
now.
Zimbabwe. One of them, one of those, either Zambia or Zimbabwe. You know,
I know Jamaica has, Ethiopia has a big population of Jamaicans
Yeah.
in Shashamane.
even me, I was shocked. Like, you know, they are in Zambia, and it's a huge thing. You know, so seeing that trend, the reverse migration of, like, you know, they're actually heading back.
It's amazing.
I can my sis is a nurse in Baltimore, and she was at work, and I think she was talking to either one of somebody on the phone, and then this nurse comes and is like, hey, were you speaking Swahili? I was like, yeah, I'm from Kenya. I was like, oh my God. So this lady who is a nurse had gone to Kenya, and she was like, that's one of the best places she's ever been. You know, and even now she's planning on taking another, I think, like 10 or 15 nurses to go visit Kenya, and now she's starting to have that mindset of, like, I might be planning to move to Africa.
What